Everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that sounds simple, yet holds the power to completely change our lives. Learning to ignore. We live in a world where attention is currency. Everyone has an opinion, a judgment, a comment about what we should do, who we should be, and how we should live. If we keep listening to everything and everyone, we will lose sight of ourselves. The truth is, when you constantly react to criticism, negativity, or distractions, you waste your energy. But when you learn to ignore what doesn't deserve your attention, gossip, unnecessary hate, distractions, you become powerful, you remain focused on your goals, you control your emotions, you protect your peace. And here's the interesting part. When you stop seeking validation and focus purely on your growth, success naturally follows. People start noticing you, admiring you, even chasing you, not because you chase them, but because you built something so strong within yourself that they couldn't ignore you anymore. In short, learn to ignore the noise, focus on the signal, and soon the world will run behind you. Thank you. In life, one of the most important lessons we can learn is that not every opinion matters. From the moment we start chasing our dreams, stepping outside our comfort zones, or even making small changes in our lives, people around us will have something to say. Some will criticize, some will doubt, and some will project their own fears onto us. If we give weight to every single voice, we will find ourselves overwhelmed, confused, and constantly second-guessing our own path. The truth is, most opinions are shaped by people's limited experiences, personal insecurities, or simply their inability to understand our vision. Not everyone is qualified to advise us, and not everyone deserves a seat at the table of our minds. By learning to filter opinions and only accepting feedback from those who genuinely have our best interests at heart, those who have experience, wisdom, and a spirit of encouragement, we protect ourselves from unnecessary negativity. When we stop living for other people's approval and start trusting our own journey, we gain a sense of inner peace that allows us to move forward with clarity and confidence. It's essential to remember that greatness is often misunderstood at first, and many people only recognize success once it's fully realized. Therefore, instead of reacting to every comment or criticism, it's far wiser to stay focused, believe in our purpose, and continue growing, knowing that in the end, it is our results, not their opinions, that will speak the loudest. Focus is one of the rarest and most powerful qualities a person can possess in today's world. In an environment where distractions are everywhere, from constant notifications to endless opinions and comparisons, the ability to concentrate solely on your goals is a superpower. When you focus, you channel all your mental, emotional, and physical energy into a single direction, giving your efforts far greater strength and clarity. Just like sunlight passing through a magnifying glass can ignite a fire, a focused mind can ignite extraordinary results. Without focus, even the most talented individuals can drift aimlessly, wasting their potential on things that don't matter. But with focus, even an ordinary person can achieve extraordinary success. It is through relentless attention to a specific goal that skills are sharpened, mastery is developed, and great things are built. Focus means saying no to everything that doesn't serve your purpose. No to needless arguments, no to self-doubt, no to distractions that only waste time and energy. It demands discipline, self-awareness, and sometimes even solitude. But the reward for maintaining focus is enormous: real progress, deep fulfillment, and a growing sense of inner strength. As the world around you spins in a frenzy of chaos, a focused person becomes unshakable, moving steadily forward while others scatter their energy in 100 different directions. In the end, it is focus that creates momentum, power, and lasting success. One of the greatest freedoms a person can experience is the ability to validate themselves without needing constant approval from others. In a world where likes, comments, and public praise have become the modern measures of worth, it is easy to fall into the trap of depending on external validation to feel good about ourselves. But the problem with external validation is that it is unstable and unpredictable. It shifts with people's moods, biases, and changing opinions. If we rely on it, we become prisoners of public perception, always adjusting ourselves to please others, often at the cost of our authenticity. True confidence, on the other hand, is built from within. It comes from knowing who you are, understanding your strengths and weaknesses, and being at peace with your journey, regardless of how others perceive it. Self-validation means trusting your efforts even when they go unnoticed, believing in your dreams even when they are misunderstood, and standing by your values even when they are unpopular. It is the quiet voice inside that says, I am enough, even when the outside world tries to convince you otherwise. When you master self-validation, you no longer chase approval, you live in alignment with your own truth. This inner strength makes you resilient to criticism, immune to unnecessary praise, and focused on what truly matters. It allows you to build a life based on real fulfillment rather than one shaped by the temporary applause or judgment of others. In the fast-paced world we live in, many people wrongly assume that being constantly busy and overwhelmed is a sign of productivity. However, true productivity comes not from chaos, but from peace. When your mind is calm, when your emotions are steady, and when your surroundings support your focus, you are able to work smarter, not just harder. Inner peace allows you to make better decisions, think clearly under pressure, and move through your tasks with purpose rather than panic. Without peace, even the simplest tasks can feel overwhelming, and even great opportunities can be missed due to mental clutter. Stress, anxiety, and constant distractions drain mental energy, leaving little room for creativity, innovation, or deep work. On the other hand, a peaceful mind acts like fertile soil, ideas grow faster, solutions come easier, and confidence becomes natural. Protecting your peace means setting boundaries, learning to say no to unnecessary commitments, and creating an environment where your mental health is prioritized. It means refusing to let every small problem steal your focus or every negative comment disturb your emotions. In this state of peace, you not only get more done, but you also do it better, with greater satisfaction and less exhaustion. Peace isn't just the absence of noise, it is the presence of clarity, strength, and control, and it is in this environment that true productivity flourishes. Success has a magnetic quality that naturally draws people in. When you focus completely on your own growth, goals, and self-improvement, without being desperate for recognition, you start to build something real and undeniable within yourself. At first, your hard work might go unnoticed. People may ignore you, doubt you, or even criticize you. But as you keep growing, achieving, and moving forward with quiet determination, the results begin to speak louder than anything you could say. People are always drawn to excellence, to confidence, to those who stand out not because they asked for attention, but because they earned it. Success makes you visible without you having to shout for it. It builds a reputation that travels faster than words. It attracts not just attention, but respect, opportunity, and genuine admiration. Those who once overlooked you start to notice. Those who doubted you begin to seek your advice. Those who criticized you may even try to associate themselves with your achievements. But the irony is that by the time the world starts running behind you, you won't even need their approval because you would have already validated yourself through your work and your persistence. True success is never about chasing applause. It's about becoming so good, so strong, and so consistent that the world can't help but take notice. When you make excellence your standard and consistency your habit, success becomes inevitable, and with it, the attention that once seemed so important comes naturally, without you having to chase it. Every day we wake up with a limited amount of energy, mental, emotional, and physical. How we choose to use that energy determines how far we go. If we spend it reacting to every negative comment, every petty distraction, every baseless rumor, we will find ourselves drained, frustrated, and stuck in the same place. Negativity acts like a leech. It clings to our minds and slowly weakens our focus, our passion, and our drive. But when we master the art of ignoring negativity, we free up a tremendous amount of energy that can instead be used for building, creating, and achieving. Instead of wasting time arguing with people who don't matter or defending yourself to those who refuse to understand you, you conserve your strength and channel it into your goals. The mind becomes clearer, the emotions become steadier, and the path forward becomes more visible. Energy that would have been scattered in dozens of useless directions now becomes concentrated and powerful. This concentrated energy is what fuels late nights of work, early mornings of preparation, and the resilience needed to overcome challenges. It gives you the endurance to stay consistent when motivation fades. It strengthens your ability to stay committed when others give up. In the long run, the ability to ignore what does not serve you becomes one of the most valuable skills for success, because it ensures that your energy, your focus, and your heart stay exactly where they need to be, on your dreams. There is immense power in choosing silence over reaction. When someone insults you, doubts you, or challenges you unfairly, the natural human instinct is to react, to defend yourself, to argue, to prove them wrong immediately. But often reaction only adds fuel to the fire. It gives the other person control over your emotions and your energy. It pulls you into their negativity and distracts you from your true purpose. Silence, on the other hand, is a sign of strength, not weakness. When you stay silent, you show that you are not controlled by others' opinions or provocations. You communicate that you are focused on something much bigger than temporary conflicts. Silence gives you the space to respond with maturity rather than impulsiveness. It allows you to conserve your energy for actions that matter, for moves that create real change rather than pointless arguments. Most importantly, silence often speaks louder than words. It creates mystery, it commands respect, and it leaves people wondering about your strength. People who are constantly reacting are easy to predict and manipulate, but those who remain calm and silent under pressure seem unshakable. They become forces that others cannot easily disturb or defeat. In a noisy world where everyone rushes to defend, explain, and argue, those who master the art of silence rise above the noise and remain focused on building something that no amount of words can tear down. Success is never built in a day, nor is it the result of one big dramatic move. True success is the outcome of quiet, consistent effort, the kind of effort that happens away from applause, recognition, or even encouragement. When you learn to keep working silently, without announcing every move, without seeking immediate praise, you start to build a momentum that is almost impossible to stop. Every small step, every late night of effort, every early morning of discipline adds up over time. People may not notice your progress at first, because consistency often works in silence, hidden beneath the surface. But as the days turn into weeks, and weeks into months, the results begin to compound. The skills become sharper, the mindset becomes stronger, and the goals that once seemed distant start to come into reach. Those who are inconsistent, who seek attention too early, often burn out quickly because they rely on external motivation. But those who stay steady and committed, quietly refining their craft without distraction, eventually reach a level of excellence that cannot be ignored. Momentum built through silent, consistent effort is powerful because it creates habits, builds character, and fortifies your spirit against setbacks. Once momentum is on your side, success starts to flow naturally, and the best part is you didn't have to shout to get there. Your work, your growth, and your quiet determination did all the talking for you. In a world that constantly compares and contrasts, it can be difficult not to fall into the trap of measuring our progress against others. We see someone's success and think, why am I not there yet? We hear about another's achievements and wonder if we are somehow falling behind. But the reality is that everyone's journey is unique, and comparing yourself to others only wastes your energy and diverts you from your true path. What we often forget is that behind every success story is a series of challenges, sacrifices, and experiences that are personal to the individual. The person you admire may have faced struggles that you haven't, or they may be walking a completely different path than yours. What works for one person may not work for you, and that's perfectly fine. Every person moves at their own pace, and what matters most is staying true to your own process. Your experiences, your mistakes, and your growth are all part of your personal journey, and they shape who you are meant to become. When you stop comparing your progress to others, you give yourself permission to move at your own speed, to trust your own timing, and to appreciate the unique lessons that come with your individual path. The most important thing is to keep moving forward with intention, knowing that everyone has a different story. Your success will come when it is meant to, and it will be based on your own unique qualities and the steps you take, not on how you measure up to someone else. Failure is something that everyone encounters at some point, yet so many are afraid of it. In fact, many people avoid taking risks or stepping outside their comfort zone because they fear failing. But what if we redefined failure? Instead of seeing it as a setback or an end, we should recognize it as an integral part of the growth process. Every successful person has failed at some point, and often they failed multiple times. But what sets them apart is that they didn't see failure as something to be feared, but as something to learn from. When you fail, you gain valuable lessons that you can only learn through experience. Failure teaches resilience, patience, and adaptability. It forces you to reassess your approach, refine your methods, and try again with more knowledge and understanding. The most successful people are not the ones who never fail, they are the ones who fail and rise again with greater wisdom and strength. Without failure, growth would be impossible. It's the trials and errors that test our determination and help us understand what truly matters. Instead of fearing failure, we should embrace it as a teacher, a guide that shows us the way forward. Each failure is a step closer to success, a necessary part of the journey that makes eventual triumph even more meaningful. The real defeat lies not in falling, but in refusing to get up and try again.